Process of lawmaking. First is the preparation of the bill. The member or the bill drafting division of the Reference and Research Bureau prepares and drafts the bill upon the member's request. One subject, one title rule. Every bill passed by the Congress shall embrace only one subject, which shall be expressed in the title thereof. Now, what is the purpose of the one subject, one title rule? It is aimed against the evils of the so-called omnibus bills and log-rolling legislation, as well as surreptitious and or unconsidered encroaches, to apprise the legislators of the purposes, the nature and scope of its provisions, and prevent the enactment into law of matters which have not received the notice, action, and study of the legislators and the public. The provision merely calls for all parts of an act relating to its subject finding expression in its title. What is the test of compliance of the one subject, one title rule? The requirement that the subject of an act shall be expressed in its title should receive a reasonable and not a technical construction. It is sufficient if the title be comprehensive enough reasonably to include the general object which a statute seeks to effect, without expressing each and every end and means necessary or convenient for the accomplishing of that object. Mere details need not be set forth. Okay, so next in the lawmaking process from preparation of bill is the first reading. The bill is filed with the Bills and Index Service, and the same is numbered and reproduced. 3 days after its filing, the same is included in the order of business for first reading. On the first reading, the Secretary General reads the title and number of the bill. The Speaker refers the bill to the appropriate committee or committees. Next, committee consideration or action. The committee where the bill was referred to evaluates it to determine the necessity of conducting public hearings. If the committee finds it necessary to conduct public hearings, it schedules the time thereof, issues public notices, and invites resource persons from the public and private sectors, the academe, the experts on the proposed legislation. If the committee finds that no public hearing is needed, it schedules the bill for committee discussion or discussions. Based on the result of the public hearings or committee discussions, the committee may introduce amendments, consolidate bills on the same subject matter, or propose a substitute bill. It then prepares the corresponding committee report. The committee approves the committee report and formally transmits the same to the Plenary Affairs Bureau. Next, the committee report is registered and numbered by the Bills and Index Service. It is included in the order of business and referred to the Committee on Rules. The Committee on Rules schedules the bill for consideration on second reading. The Secretary General reads the number, title, and text of the bill, and the following takes place: period of sponsorship and debate, period of amendments, voting, which may be by viva voce, count by tellers, division of the House, or nominal voting. Next, third reading. The amendments, if any, are engrossed and printed copies of the bill are reproduced for third reading. The engrossed bill is included in the calendar of bills for third reading, and copies of the same are distributed to all the members 3 days before its third reading. On third reading, the Secretary General reads only the number and title of the bill. A roll call or nominal voting is called, and a member, if he desires, is given 3 minutes to explain his vote. No amendment on the bill is allowed at this stage. The bill is approved by an affirmative vote of a majority of the members present. If the bill is disapproved, the same is transmitted to the archives. Note that no bill passed by either house shall become a law unless it has passed 3 readings on separate days, and printed copies thereof in its final form have been distributed to its members 3 days before its passage, except when the President certifies to the necessity of its immediate enactment to meet a public calamity or emergency. Upon the last reading of a bill, no amendment thereto shall be allowed, and the vote thereon shall be taken immediately thereafter, and the yeas and nays entered in the journal. Transmittal of the approved bill to the Senate. The approved bill is transmitted to the Senate for its concurrence. Senate action on the approved bill of the House. So the bill undergoes the same legislative process in the Senate. Conference Committee. A conference committee is constituted and is composed of members from each House of Congress to settle, reconcile, or thresh out differences or disagreements on any provision of the bill. The conferees are not limited to reconciling the differences in the bill, but may introduce new provisions germane to the subject matter or may report out an entirely new bill on the subject. The conference committee prepares a report to be signed by all the conferees and the chairman. The conference committee report is submitted for consideration or approval of both houses. No amendment is allowed. Transmittal of the bill to the President. Copies of the bill, signed by the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and certified by both the Secretary of the Senate and the Secretary General of the House, are transmitted to the President. Now, presidential action on the bill. If the bill is approved by the President, the same is assigned an RA number and transmitted to the House where it originated. If the bill is vetoed, the same, together with a message citing the reason for the veto, is transmitted to the House where the bill originated. Should the President not communicate his veto of any bill to the House where it originated within 30 days after the date of receipt thereof, it shall become a law as if he had signed it. Action on approved bill. The bill is reproduced and copies are sent to the official Gazette office for publication and distribution to the implementing agencies. It is then included in the annual compilation of acts and resolution. How about if the bill was vetoed by the President? Action on the vetoed bill. The message is included in the order of business. If the Congress decides to override the veto, the House and the Senate shall proceed separately to reconsider the bill or the vetoed items of the bill. If the bill or its vetoed items is passed by a vote of 2/3 of the members of each House, such bill or items shall become a law.